What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another video. I appreciate you being here. I just want to talk about what will it be like to be out on your own, and whether that's you um, getting out of school or you have no experience. A lot of times when you're just starting out, it usually takes you a year to be out by yourself, and you'll probably be a runner boy or runner girl and just run somebody parts to them or whatnot, or you'll be riding along with somebody. But once you get out by yourself, a lot of times you'll be doing PMs, and PMs are preventative maintenance. Um, I thought that's what I will be doing until the next day. I got a different job, and they gave me a system I had to fix that had no heat, and I've never seen it before, and I had to figure it out. But this right here is just a regular PM. I'll do another video on the system that I had to do, and just want to tell you what to expect and how to navigate through it. A lot of times, if you are doing PMs or you have a tool, I got my truck on a Wednesday, so I really didn't have time to figure out how some of my tools work. Meaning, like when I had to do static pressure, or I had to do the combustion analyzer, and I didn't have a drill bit or whatnot. So I spent the time on the weekend to figure these things out, look on YouTube or whatnot. Now, when you're riding with somebody, and I know someone may say, well, didn't you get to train with somebody? I did. But when you're learning so much in just 2 months and then being put out in a van, which I'm not complaining about, I think the best way to learn is by yourself and be placed in situations where you make mistakes or you have to learn. It sticks in your head a lot better than somebody doing it for you. So when you got to learn paperwork, tablet, presenting yourself to customers, and then fixing the problem, going through procedures, and step by step, it can be very difficult to do, and to remember every little thing that you have done. And when you're with different people, the procedures are different when they're doing maintenance or when they're solving a problem. So it's kind of like you trying to find your own identity when you're in this field. So a lot of times you have to go out by yourself and make mistakes and figure out how you gonna approach this situation and fix each situation. Sometimes it's extremely hard starting out because you gotta have your own tools. I was fortunate enough to have some tools and have some money to buy my own tools. My father was into the trades. He did boilers, fans, floor, carpentry. And so I had some of his tools already, but I still had to go get my impact gun. I still have to go get a, um, a sawzall as well. So these tools can be very expensive and costly, especially when you're starting at the bottom, you know, and which we deserve to be at the bottom, which is not a bad thing. You just got to earn your way up. And it feels a lot better when you earned it, instead of just giving or whatnot. And you just buy a little bit paycheck after paycheck. Don't try to buy it with your whole paycheck and then you have no money left over and whatnot. Learn about customer service. Um, learn how to interact with people. Set boundaries. Meaning like if somebody want to talk to you about something political and say, "Hey, I understand, um, but being that I'm at work, I'm unable to talk about these things," and so you just cover yourself. At the end of the day, instead of being so personal, because you don't know what you're gonna say to the person that may trigger them. You might say the wrong thing, and then they seem like you could. They appear to seem as if you can say whatever to them. However, and you just want to cover yourself because, like my job and many other jobs, they ask people to review you, and so when your mindset doesn't align with them, they're not gonna rate you properly. Just based off what you said, not the work you have done, you know. Um you definitely want to have two bags. I like to have a book bag because I like to, go on rooftops. Some of the guys are afraid of heights. I was once afraid of heights, but I don't like to be afraid of things. I don't like to have a fear. I don't want to be held back. But now I like going on rooftops. I love doing rooftops. Um, well, when I was helping someone, I haven't done one on my own, but it's good to have that backpack so you don't carry it while using one hand to go up the ladder. You know, um, have one for a service bag and have one for like installation, like for your piping or you're putting it in for your condenser. And when you have the time, just buy little tools at a time. Some of the major tools that they'll give you, like your gauges, manometer, um, your combustion analyzer, they will supply that to you, you know, and you won't have to buy those things, so you'll be fine with that. You also want to get multiple headlamps. I have 6 headlamps and two standing lamps as well, just in case I'm out long and I have more than enough lighting, because some of these don't last uh, some don't last for some only last for like 4 hours the most. Some may last 6 hours, but when you keep recharging something, it gets bad after a while. But yeah, when you out by yourself, just take your time. Take your time. Because I promise you, there's been times where people have felt pressured, and it depends on who your manager is, but they should tell you take your time, but felt pressured and forgot to put a wire back or forgot to hit the emergency service switch back on, and then you get a call back and somebody got to go back and find out what went wrong. And for my company, that cost them $1,500 just for a callback service. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth the callback? I'm not saying you'll never get a callback at all, because sometimes you may tell a customer like, hey, this may happen and I don't know when it's going to go out. And it goes out the next day and you got to go back and fix it. Although you warned them and signed off on it, but that's a different situation. But if you're rushing and you're trying to figure out things and you're nervous and you just want to get out of there because your manager's on your back, you will have to talk to your manager and be like, hey, I'm just learning, trying to figure it out, and that, and just having a good conversation. I don't think there's managers like that, but just in case, because managers have been in your position as well. At the end of the day, there was once apprentices, you know, and so just take your time, make sure you go over your steps. I already messed up before. I was wondering why this guy brand new furnace wouldn't come back on. And brand new. It worked when I got there, and I'm trying to reboot it and turn it back on, and it's not coming back on. And that's all because I forgot that the gas valve was off, and I was talking to him, so that's what really distracted me or whatnot. And I'm also like an athlete in a way when it comes to this, so I film myself so I can learn from my mistakes, see what I did at this job, and go over it and get better. You know, in hindsight, I'm looking at my videos like, duh, yeah, you supposed to do that, or you should have did that. Like, what are you doing? You know, just like anybody else that may watch this video. But yeah, you definitely wanna, when you go out to customers, even with your trainer who you're riding along with, if they leave a review and they add your name for my company, we get paid for reviews, and you keep those receipts. And the reason why you keep those receipts because in 6 months to a year, you build your case, you bring your file or whatnot, or you talk to your manager like, hey, client's been saying this about me, my conversion rate is this, and I was able to complete this job on my own, and you can have that discussion. I would definitely use my age as a strong point, and the reason why I say that is because longevity. When you're younger and you have older guys, it's like, yeah, if you want me to stay here, yeah, pay me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying pay you $45 or $35 or $30, but show that you want me here. And that's what jobs should show, especially when you're younger, because you're a lot more healthier than the guys that's at the job. And I will say this, don't lose yourself in the job. And what I mean by losing yourself in the job, I'm talking about not taking care of your body, not taking care of your mind, and getting enough rest at the end of the day. Because being that you're younger, you may not be overweight, you may be overweight, but it's only going to add to it because these days and nights are long, and you're going to meet customers that are annoying, but you'll meet way more customers that are very nice. If you're ever in trouble, technical support can help you. Some of them are great, some of them are horrible, and some of them you just can't get through to. Sometimes you got to call them early in the morning. And, YouTube, Google, AI, chat, Copilot are your best friends. Sometimes it's hard to get it in the basement, but if you go upstairs and get some service, just do it in your van and just make sure, they don't see you doing it. But I would like to say thank you for joining me. Subscribe and hit the like button. Until next time, peace.